What's up, guys? Welcome back to OG Sports TV and welcome back to another episode of Real Talk. Today, we're recapping the Super Bowl and an outcome that was surprising, but maybe it shouldn't have been. We'll get into that. Like if you like, subscribe if you're new. Let's go. All right, guys, let's talk about it. The Buccaneers are Super Bowl champions. They won this game against the Chiefs 31-9, and in a result that I said maybe shouldn't have been as surprising as it is to some of us, including myself. For one, I picked against them in every round of the playoffs this year, so shout out to the Bucs. But the biggest part of this game is what we all thought going into it was the health of and the weakness of the Chiefs' offensive line, and it showed on Sunday. It absolutely showed. Mahomes is pressured on 29 of what I read 57 dropbacks. He was running for his life the entire game. There's a picture on my Twitter that I retweeted. It's absolutely insane. It's almost like the Bucs defensive line and the Chiefs offensive line switched places. That's how much pressure and penetration they were giving up the entire game. And even when Mahomes could get off throws, his receivers didn't help him out very much. Travis Kelce had a good game, but Tyreek Hill had just a drive-killing drop in the first half. And near the end of the game, Dale Williams dropped a touchdown on what may be the best throw of Mahomes' life. He was completely horizontal, and he let off a throw that hit Dale Williams in the face mask and right on the goal line. So it was going to be quiet for them if it was going to be like this, and the receivers weren't going to help Mahomes out. It doesn't matter how great you are of a quarterback. If your passes aren't getting caught, then you're not going to be able to do anything. So it was tough for them, and really you could tell what the Bucs' game plan was because they knew how much pressure they were going to get. They were only sending four guys for the majority of the game, and they were two high safeties for most of the time. And what that tells you, if they're only sending four guys on the rush and they're keeping two safeties high, it tells you that we're only going to send four guys. We know that we can get to you without blitzing, because I told you in the last video, Mahomes had a great percentage against the blitz, but they didn't need to blitz. They could get home with four guys on half of his dropbacks. So they send four guys the entire game, two high safeties the entire time. We're gonna keep everybody back. We're gonna keep seven guys back in coverage, and you're not gonna be able to get good throws off. And even if you do, well, we have guys there, and it showed. They gave up. I'm not even sure how the Chiefs got 9 points in this game with the way that the Bucs defense was playing and the way the Chiefs offensively, including the line and the skill positions, just did not help Patrick out at all. At all. He didn't have a shot. So that was how the Bucs won this game on defense. They did create two interceptions. One of them was a bit fluky off a tip ball, and the second one was to seal the game in the end of the fourth quarter. So I'm not going to count that too much as far as why they won the game, even though that was a big reason why they won past playoff games. But in reality, it was just because Mahomes was on the ground the entire time. So, switching over to the Buccaneers offense, they did what they had to do and did what I thought that they would do if they were going to win this game. Is they kept it simple. And honestly, it was a very conservative game plan. They were very balanced. The running backs did their thing. Playoff Lenny did his thing. He had 89 yards and a touchdown, a very clutch touchdown. And Ronald Jones had 61 yards on 12 carries. Both running backs are over 5 yards a carry. Leonard Fournette scored. And Tom Brady, he only threw for 200 yards, but he had 3 scores. They were very conservative. They were very balanced. They didn't have to do too much. They didn't have to take any risk because their defense was in complete control. And it was in reality just the perfect situation for the Buccaneers. Their defense was in complete control. There was almost no threat from what was the most high-powered offense in the league the last couple of years. And it's the first game. I love this stat. It's the first game in the Patrick Mahomes era where they didn't score an offensive touchdown. And I'm pretty sure I saw, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure it was the first time that they lost by double digits. Patrick Mahomes lost by double digits since he was at Texas Tech. It's absolutely insane what the Bucs were able to do. And they made it look really easy. Now, is it the same outcome if the Chiefs have a completely healthy offensive line? I'm not sure. They don't get pressure like that as easily. They would have to, in order to get that, they would have to blitz. And we know how good Mahomes is against the blitz. They would have to do a little bit. They would have to play differently in the secondary. The Chiefs definitely would have scored, and it would have been a close game. Maybe the Bucs still come out on top. I don't know. I would love to have seen that outcome, because I think it would have made the game a little bit more. It would have kept the integrity of this game a little bit, because you know that that's not the true Chiefs that we saw on Sunday. But it is what it is. Players get hurt. Teams have to overcome that. So all credit to the Buccaneers. Just what a game plan and an outcome for them. And Tom Brady gets his 7th ring. 7. It's absolutely insane. And I mentioned in the last video how Tom Brady winning this game would affect his legacy with the Patriots. And I'm going to talk about that in my next video. I believe next week it's going to be about Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and the Patriot way, and how that all ended, and how that's going to impact the future of the Patriots. Can't wait to talk about that. But yeah, the Buccaneers win this game 31-9. They played out a lot how they would have dreamed of. I think this was a perfect outcome for them. And the Chiefs, it's all right. They'll be back next year. They'll be healthy. Mahomes is going to get healthy. He's having surgery on his foot. The offensive line is going to get healthy. They'll have another offensive lineman and the running back who opted out for this year due to COVID reasons. So the Chiefs will be back. No sweat there. Like I said in this video, anyone who lost this game, we weren't going to think any less of them. We don't think any less of Patrick Mahomes right now. He's still absolutely an incredible quarterback, and you saw that he had some of the best throws of his career in this game. They just were dropped. So, and that's why we won't remember them, because they were dropped. Like that picture of him throwing that what should have been touchdown he was freaking horizontal. That should be legend, but it's going to be forgot about in a couple of days. So that's just how it goes. Bucs win this game 31-9. They won the Super Bowl, and shout out to them. Another thing I wanted to mention before the end of this video is I wanted to talk about the Buccaneers team building, because if you noticed, I'm sure a couple of people talked about this, a couple of media outlets talked about this, but if you didn't notice, everyone that scored for the Buccaneers in this game wasn't on the team just a year ago. Ron Gronkowski scored twice. Of course, Tom Brady is throwing the touchdowns. He wasn't there. Leonard Fournette was picked up as a cut player from Jacksonville, and Antonio Brown, who would say what you will about Antonio Brown and as his characteristics as a person, he was a big contributor for them in the playoff run. He scored in the wild card game against the Redskins, against Washington, and he scored in the Super Bowl. So this is just a clinic in team building, I think, by the general manager Jason Licht in the Bucs front office, because they already had a great offense. They already had a great defense. They just needed, in reality, they needed a quarterback to steady the ship, and they bring someone in with Tom Brady, who has the most winning pedigree you can ask for. And they weren't satisfied with that. They came in and they just reloaded even more. They brought in Tom Brady, one of his historically favorite targets, and Ron Gronkowski out of retirement. They get Antonio Brown. They sign Leonard Fournette, and it just shows you that they weren't satisfied. They weren't like, all right, we got our guy. Let's go win this thing. They were like, no, we're gonna absolutely make sure that we have every chance to go and do this, because we know that we have the team to do this. When was the last time the Bucs were in the playoffs and they come back in and they win the Super Bowl in this first time back in I don't know how long? So it's an absolute clinic in team building by Jason Licht. All the credit they have. It just shows that they have an absolutely incredible front office. Who they were so low key last year, and how good of a team that they were, because how many picks Jameis Winston was throwing. But it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that they went and won this, because that team is absolutely loaded on all sides of the ball. So shout out to the Buccaneers, shout out to Jason Licht, and I think that'll do it for this video. All right, guys, that wraps up this one. Thank you so much for watching. Like if you like, subscribe if you're new. The Patriot Way video coming out next week, hopefully. I can't wait to get that one out for you guys. Remember, be kind to someone today. That's real talk.